Hey guys, Ted Bogert with the Ted Show. I'm excited to have this young man on our show today, G1ANN1 Mariotti. Welcome. I am interested in what he does. I think he's got a great, unique kind of way of branding. He's social media. We're going to learn all of this together. He's a YouTuber. So I'm one of those old guys, probably 7 generations from Gianni. And I want to learn more because I like it. So we are live on YouTube, just so people know. But welcome to the show, my friend. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right. So Gianni, give us a background. Tell us a little bit about you.
So I started off. I grew up, Northwest Indiana, from Valparaiso, Indiana, and then I kind of moved south, and then south of Indiana to a small town, and then I've just lately been out here in Miami. But I'm still in high school. I'm 17. Got one more year of high school, so I gotta, whether we go back or not, I still gotta decide if I want to do online school or I want to continue in school. It's just gonna be hard for me to be consistent if I'm, in school and stuff. And so I ended up. Shout out to my brothers. They were also helping me come up with an idea because I wanted to do YouTube. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but they always told me I like to talk a lot. So they were like, do something that, maybe you feel comfortable with. And I'm like, I'm cool being on camera. So it all started there.
How did you come up with exactly what you wanted to do? Because you're young, you've got all these cool experiences that are going on around you. The world is changing all around you too. Yeah. And so you decide you want to focus on what? What specifically is your brand, what you do?
So specifically, I was like, it's kind of different because, my brother, he's always had me around these athletes because he started off working for a sports agency, and then he ended up becoming a player manager, and now he manages Derek Jones Jr. of the Heat and Terry Rozier of the Charlotte Hornets, and I'm also surrounded by a bunch of these athletes. So on top of being, loving basketball and being around these athletes and having opportunity and being so young, they all kind of came together like, why don't you start like a YouTuber about this? Like your life's a little different than other people. Like it's not the exact same, it's kind of different than not most people's lives, but a lot of people's lives, And then
right.
it kind of worked out to where I wanted to get a logo made, as you can see on my on the wrong side, on my shirt. And, you see the ones right here. And then the V. There's also a V too, so 1v1. And so it's like I want to do G1ANN1 1-on-1, whether that could be one-on-one on the court with these athletes, whether it could be an interview, whether it could be something they like to do. What if they're not athletes? Like something that they like to do. So I just go one-on-one with them. So all those kind of came together, and it's still changing as I've only done this like a year, but it's still going on from that.
I think your branding's great. I love the way you spell Gianni, right? So that's great. That's great marketing. I think a lot of people will go to YouTube and they'll watch a video, so they're dependent on it. They learn a lot from YouTube. But what's it like on the other side when you're trying to create content? I know it because I have to create content every day. It's not as easy as it looks. So tell us about how you come up with your ideas and what it's like on the influencer side, on the YouTube channel side.
So I'd say it's in a way it might be kind of the same as yours because you're doing you're interviewing me and stuff, but it's kind of also a lot different because YouTube, me having to create content with these athletes is more like me going out there and 1v1ing them and trying to find like certain cool ways to do it. Like I don't just want to be like, here we're gonna 1v1 to 10 all the time. Like I just want to be like that. I want to make it interesting. And a lot of these athletes, I'm average, or some people could say I'm below average. I'm not a great basketball player. All I can do is probably shoot the ball. But so it's like I have to find a way to where I have an advantage because, or maybe they have, they're a lot better. So creating content in general is like, as it's very hard, especially with the times we're in now. It's kind of like the stuff I do is a lot hands-on with people. So it's like with the coronavirus and everything going on, and athletes especially, they're not really supposed to be out with everybody. They're trying to, quarantine as much as they can because they don't want to catch this. So it's really hard for me now, especially. But before that, balancing school, being on the basketball team, and doing this and that, it's been hard to balance that, especially. So,
I'm sure you've got a lot on your shoulders, a lot going on. But I want to say that I like the creativity of what you're doing. I think spelling Gianni the way you do on social media really kind of outline. It was funny because I always ask everybody, tell me 3 personal things about you. it's on the form. And you said basketball was the first one, and I thought to myself, what are we doing? What are we talking about? I
Yeah.
loved that though, because you bring it in. You're talking to people who are really successful, but you still have to do it. Let's talk about the actual content creation itself. Mine's live, and I'm a one and done, and we kind of sometimes play with the tape and do a smaller one later, a video. I'm sorry, and but you know, you really do all of the creation yourself. You've got to put your intro, your outro, your colors. Tell people what that process is like, because I don't think they realize how much work goes into it.
So when I first started, I made my own intro. I made like a 40-second clip, but that came from me. As I first started, I filmed 2 of my videos. One was with Derrick Jones Jr. of the Heat, which he wasn't as big at the time, but he was still a big asset to the Heat. And Kobe Simmons, who now plays for the Charlotte Hornets, I did a video with him. So, and I also went to Rolling Loud and did a bunch of things and here in Miami. So after that, it was kind of like I not only threw an intro, I threw my editor a bunch of clips, and I'm like, honestly, I was new at it. I'm like, whatever you think works, works. So like he threw back my intro, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. But as time went on, you know, I can't just keep the same intro. Like I can't have the same intro for a whole year, because then they're not gonna want to watch that. You know how many times I drop a video. They're not gonna watch a 40-second clip and be like, we watched this already. So like they don't expect me to want to like they don't want to keep watching this, as we know, the same clip over and over and over. So after that started happening, I started like kind of leave out that outro, and then I try to start like every video I'd make a little intro for that. So like it'd be like the video intro would be just clips from that video and make it kind of cool, which has been working out very good for me. And then not just that, it's like I don't want to keep doing like the same type of video. Like I want to switch it up. So it's real hard for me to be, you know, I'm creative, I guess, myself. I've learned that as I'm doing this. So it's like changing, because I'm having to come up with all these different things. And then the outro, of course, you just gotta, you know, it's kind of flows with the video. If it works out to where the athlete helps you with the outro and they're like, you know, just, you know, they close it out for you, whether you have to do it later, you know, it's real different, you know?
It's a lot of people don't realize how much work it is to edit. Editing is really where it's at. And so one of the things that is interesting to me is that you're kind of what are you doing during COVID with this? Are you able to do interviews like this with the people that you want to, like on these platforms like StreamYard, or have you just focused on back office, back end content until you can be one-on-one again?
So I've filmed during this quarantine whole thing. I've really only got to film one video, which has been really, really bad. But it's also helped me a lot because I've been able to, you know, work with companies and just like kind of really get my company, or not my company, but like my brand set. Like it's really been giving me a good time to be able to like build my brand and come up with, you know, all this, you know, all the things I didn't have time to come up with before. And now it's done, you know, it's helped with that. Like it's helped me. I had an editor, and then I transitioned just editing myself. And then I ended up, you know, surpassing, I feel like, what it was in the past, and I became like a great editor, in my opinion, for myself. So this time's been like really beneficial to me, you know. So I've been, you know, you asked, am I working on the back end or one-on-one? No, it's more like a lot of people aren't seeing what I'm doing, but I'm doing a lot of things and connecting with people, and I'm still, you know, trying to put out as much content as I can. But then again, it's limited because of this.
You're learning too. You're learning your craft. You said you went from having an editor to editing a lot of the stuff yourself. That's a great learning process. So tell me, what do you want to do when you graduate high school?
So everything's like before. I mean, like I still want to just graduate and go to the University of Miami. That's what I really want to do. So you know, with this YouTube stuff, I hope I can just continue it in college, which I'm going to. But you know, if this stuff gets to a point where it's an everyday, all day thing, and like whatever happens a year ago, you know, I wouldn't be. You know, I do want to go to college. Like, this is something I want to go to college. Like, there's no question about it. So as soon as I graduate, I want to go into college. But to be honest, like, everything's in the air right now, especially with how the world's going. And it's all just kind of like, you know, different.
People will say, I think a lot of the older crowd don't understand what I do. So I can only imagine they'll have absolutely no understanding of what you do.
Yeah.
But what do you explain it to somebody? Like if you're talking to your grandparents or great grandparents, in my case, and you are trying to explain what it is that you would do as a YouTuber, give them an idea of what that looks like. Because I think people just don't they don't understand what you can actually accomplish with all of the branding and content creation that you're doing.
So yeah, my grandma's 93, so like I have to deal. She loves it. Like she doesn't have a question or nothing. So
Love
if
it.
I explain to people, it's like a lot of them won't understand. Like if I explain to people, hey, these YouTubers, the money they bring in could be a lot of people's salary in the year. Like a lot of these YouTubers that I even know, like they bring in millions of dollars a year off YouTube. You know, and then when I tell people that, they're like, no, that's not true. It looks like that, but it's not. But no, this is proven facts. Like they bring in, some of them I know bring in millions of dollars just off the ad revenue. So like it's not what people think, but it's like, so if I had to explain to somebody, it's, you know, what I do is just this content creation, it's entertainment. It's, if, you know, some people might not think it's cool to watch, but a lot of people do think it's cool to watch. So you have to gauge what you think people might like, and then your personality has to go on, you know, go with that. So for older people, it is harder to explain because they don't understand it. This is something that has never, ever been even a thought that you can make this into a career. So it's like it's a trending career, and you can make great money off it. And it's kind of like people are like, you know, some people might work like so hard, and then there's these YouTubers, and they think they don't do anything. They just put out videos. But a lot of time goes into this, a lot of thinking, a lot of there's a lot of business moves that need to be made. There's a lot of things that people don't understand that goes into it. So it is a business, it is a job, it's a career, but a lot of people just see the end result and don't see what really goes into it. So if I had, you know, explaining to someone older, it's like, you know, the best way they can learn what it is like watch it, like see what it is, and then like think about and see, like not see what they, like it's just like what they do really will show, like, you know, what it kind of is, but like a lot, it's still hard, really hard.
It's just a lot. I mean, I think people just need to understand that it is a lot of work. I mean, people have seen what, I'm sure people have seen behind the scenes of filming a movie or a TV show. It's very similar to that, not on that grand scale, but it's very similar as far as the production ideas you have to come up with, and sometimes storyboarding. And I'm not really big into scripts, but I've had to do scripts before. And you know, people, because the content, they can look in a million different places, and so you have to be on top of your game in order for your content to be fresh.
Yeah.
And that's also what we're always thinking about, trying to find new ways to bring the things that we want into play. What would you tell someone who is listening or watching and they say, you know what, I've got a great idea? What's one of the first one or two things that you would tell them to do if they want to try their hand at social media, YouTube?
First thing I'm going to say is you're going to have a lot of doubters. It could be your family, which in the case, my family's been really supportive, but I know a lot of YouTubers that their family doubted them. And it wasn't just because they're like, you can't make that in the career. It's because they think in their mind, like, they don't understand. Every parent wants their kid to grow up, most likely go to college and get an amazing job, which is amazing. But there's also, and a lot of parents wouldn't understand the YouTube. So like, what I have to say to people like that is like, even if it's your family that's kind of doubting you, it's not really like, it's not like hard. Like they're just like, you can't do it, but it's like, they don't understand. So don't get down when people like tell you can't do it, because, you know, just either prove them wrong and then like apply way and just show them what you can do. And just don't listen to anybody that can tell you you can't, and just, you know, put your full effort into it. If you believe you can do it, then just do it. You're gonna have you're gonna either have supporters or you're gonna have people that don't want you to succeed, and that'll really show the true colors of people too. So like, you can learn a lot of doing it. Like I would never tell someone not to do it, because you can't get hurt in this situation.
Right.
You know, you just can't get hurt. Everything is a learning experience. So for me to tell people, it's like, you even have a thought of it, go for it. So what's the worst that can happen? You know?
I love your energy. I think what you're doing is really cool. I think a lot of people should look and follow you, and so I want them to, which is one of the reasons why we do shows like this, is to expose people to new up and coming artists or influencers. So what is the best way people can see what Gianni's doing?
Well, of course, on Instagram, it's Instagram is something I'm always on. Like Instagram, not even that, YouTube. I'd say Instagram and YouTube are definitely my top two things I'm always on. Instagram, and then like that's how I promote all my YouTube is like through Instagram. So, my Instagram's, my first name without the ones though, and then underscore my last name, as you'll see under the show. So it's G1ANN1 Mariotti. And then my YouTube's of course G1ANN1. So pretty much everything I do is shown through there. Like, so that's usually exactly where you can find it.
Love it.
Doing.
All right, super It's really, really cool for you to share. I think it's awesome to be collaborative spirit. And I think there are people out there that want to do what you're doing
Yeah.
and they have a fear. Guys, our first videos are never phenomenal. You just have to keep going. And if you have a message, just keep practicing, which is what Gianni's done. And that's how he's honed his craft and how he's learning more and more about all sides of the YouTube business, and it's same on all social media platforms. Thank you for taking time out. That was really good. I want to tell the audience that before we went live, I told Gianni he was probably the first guest I've ever had on the show where I had absolutely no idea exactly what he did other than put out quality content on YouTube. And so I thank you for your patience and for sharing. And I'd love to have you come back and check in with us as you're maybe toward the beginning of the school year, see how things are going and see how you progress. But guys, follow Gianni. I've got the YouTube channel down there on the bottom. We've tagged him on Instagram and on Facebook. You can find all of the ways to reach him on any of those platforms. Thanks, Gianni, for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me so much. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll be back later. See you.